The third piece here is to develop your ideas. What I want you to think about with developing your ideas is not just what you want to say, like what the message is or the topic is, or the overarching story of the book or overarching premise of the book, but I want you to develop your idea of your reader. What is it that they need from you? What is it that you and you alone can offer them that others can't? What's your perspective on your topic that would serve them the most? What things do you know or have lived through that you don't talk about as much as you should, but you have this hunch that if you got it out there for people, they'd kind of freak out. Like, it would be amazing if you told them the full spectrum of who you are and what you stand for, what you're good at. That's what I mean by develop your idea. Going deep into yourself to uncover what really do I have to share with others. I love doing this process with my authors because what you find, and it's so interesting, it's part of the thrill of being a book coach, but what you find, and I hope you discover this for yourself too, is that there's always kind of a surface idea up here of what you think the book is going to be about, but then beneath that, there's all this depth. There's all of this stuff. That's where the gold is, right? Like if you think about hunting for gold, hunting for gems, right? Rarely are they just sitting on the surface waiting to be found. You got to dig deep for it, right? You've got to search. You've got to uncover. And so that's the kind of investigative process I want you to think about here, is that probably your initial idea is good and there's a lot there, but I want you to push for depth. I want you to go deeper into yourself and ask, what else? What really makes me special? What could really serve other people in what I have to share? And that is where the book needs to sit. So that's your third task, your third step here when it comes to writing your very first book, okay? So make a decision, learn the process, develop your ideas. Idea number four is I want you to decide on a topic. Another decision point here. I want you to decide on your specific topic. And often what can happen in the ideation process when we're developing a bunch of ideas is people lose sight of the book being just one thing. And it becomes all this other stuff, right? So you go big, you open up, you brain dump, you mind map, whatever you have to do, brainstorm, however you want to phrase it, you journal, meditate, but then you need to really hone it in and you need to think about the book being really about just one thing. Decide on that core topic. That's important. So now you've got the depth and the breadth of the book, but you've also got focus. Here's another step that people often miss is they don't pull it in. They don't create that focus and their book is all over the place, right? So decide on the topic. And when it comes to deciding your topic, here's a helpful tip for you that you're gonna want to use, especially if you're like me and you tend to think about things kind of sometimes a little bit too heady, a little bit too much in the cerebral fashion, right? Sometimes you gotta think about writing not what you know, but writing who you are, writing what you stand for, writing the experiences and stories that have made you the person you are today. Write with interest, write in passion. And so I would invite you to think about when you're, curating your topic, it's more than just what you know. It's not a textbook. You want to write about who you are in the process. You want to show your readers who you are through your content. Okay, so that's number 4. Let's get into the last 3, shall we? I think I've belabored that point enough. Let's go for it. So let's see, where are we? Number 5 here. Number 5. Step number 5 for writing your very first book. I want you to make a game plan. I really want you to make a game plan. And I know people, they resist this so much. They come to the process and they're like, but actually I feel inspired. I'm itching to write. Like I need to write. I'm like, great. Go to Barnes & Noble, go to your local stationery store, buy a beautiful journal, like pick the pretty one with the leather and then the little tassel thing that you wind around that's like $50, whatever. Pick the journal, pick the fancy journal and use it for that. Use it for that. But please, 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 whatever you do, don't start writing your actual book until you have a game plan. Until you have a game plan. I'm talking about a pre-writing game plan, okay? So what is a pre-writing game plan? Well, it's the plan that you have before you put pen to paper. It's all the questions that often go unanswered that you need to answer up front about the process. There are core questions that are going to serve you in the writing process. And so I like for my authors, in fact, to do a lot of legwork up front. And that way, when they come to the point of writing their books, they're so clear, they're so passionate, they're so confident because we've been drilling through the essence of the book for 5 solid weeks. They've written thousands of words about it before they even get to their manuscript. And that way, when they finally do get there, they're already clear on what the book is, on who it's for, on why it matters, on what the message is, on how they're going to share it, and where their stories belong, and what to leave out, and what to include. They have all the answers. And that is what not only creates a better book, but creates a better writing process, and ultimately a better experience for you as author. So I want that for you too. Please, please, please go in with a game plan. Now, I'll tell you, if you don't have a game plan, this is a great place to get it. You can read my book, The Writer's Success Code. It'll tell you some key steps to do to get yourself a game plan. Pre-writing, all the questions that you want to ask are in there. Grab it. It's on my website at writingcoachla.com, and you can go grab yourself a free copy of my bestseller, The Writer's Success Code, and use it to plan your books in about a week. So you've got no excuses. I've taken them all away, okay? And if you are hesitant or you're worried it's going to take you too much time, 7 days, that's what you use. It's the same things that my high-paying clients, that my authors use inside of Book Accelerator. They use the same tools. You can get them in this book, and I want you to try it for yourself to see how it works for you. Drop a comment and report back. Let me know if it was successful. I've been privileged to get emails and messages from people that have used this book to write their very first books, to get unstuck. And it's always so rewarding when those messages come through. So I hope you do the same thing for yourself. All right, so that was step number 5. Let's get into steps 6 and 7 here, and we will wrap up today's training. Okay, so step number 6 is I want you to have a goal. When do you want the book done by? What are you going to do once it's done? What is the goal for the book? What are you trying to accomplish? How are you going to get it in front of readers? How are you going to publish? You need to have some goals. And I know that this is tough at the start because there's so many questions to answer and the path is a little fuzzy, but it's a great opportunity to just sit, be still, close your eyes, meditate, breathe, and invite yourself to imagine, like creatively imagine. In fact, I'll often ask authors, like, if you could wave a magic wand and do anything you wanted with your book, what would you do? Where would you go? Who would you meet? Who would read the book? What stages would you speak on? How would your business grow? How would your life improve? What would your kids think and your spouse think and your family think and your parents think? How would they feel seeing you accomplish your dream? I ask them to just imagine it for a second. And so often we disconnect ourselves from our goals. We don't take the time to imagine. And so that's what I want for you. I want you to get in that zone of imagining, what would it be like if I did this? What would it be like for me and my loved ones, my family, my kids, my community, my business? Think about it. Dream about it, imagine it, feel it in color, see it in color, right? And that's where the magic really happens. Because if you can see your goals, I found this to be true. I don't know about you, but I found this to be true so many times over. If I can see my goals, if I can get them really clear, really crystal clear in my mind's eye, that's when they start to take form in life. It's such a fun process. So I invite you to do the same thing.